Hello, and welcome back to Visual Novels. It's been a while since we read one, so I finally got back to it for a while. I don't know how long is this gonna be last. It's gonna be probably like irregular because of my current addiction with Uma Musume, but we'll see. Things will eventually mellow out. But it's really been a while since I read any. Uh, I just felt like reading cross channel. It's been something at the back of my mind, especially this is something that Romeo Tanaka wrote, and it's not like right now, as far as I know, there's not a good English translation of the whole thing because of how Romeo Tanaka wrote the thing. But you know, uh, we'll we'll make do for now. I mean, actually, when I was thinking about like which visual novel to read this weekend, it's either this. This is just like I was looking into my Explorer. I was about to unzip the other visual novel I thought about reading. But I remembered I had this, so I just opened it up and felt like maybe I could read it. So I opened it up. The other visual novel I had in mind is The Maiden's World. It was released back last year. Yeah, but that doesn't have like an English translation, so I was thinking about like setting up the whole MLTL pipeline, but whatever. I got lazy the moment I saw cross channel. Anyway, let's get started with cross channel. Uh, okay, I'll go for display only for display all. TL notes. I'm actually curious what the TL notes are. My oldest memory. Within far up mist, where even the date was vague. A luxurious private room embodying the dignity of nobles. There was a canopied bed and a European chair. European chair. Wait, how do you save in this game, verse? How do you reach the menu? Does this game have a menu? But I prefer to sit on the floor. Oh, okay. So it's there. Okay. Cool. Okay. Especially on these days. I could see the curtain of a black, starry night through my window. My eyes were drawn to the scattered twinkles cut off by the window frame. I saw my reflection in the glass separating the outside world from the room's interior. A privileged young, noble woman. A graceful girl covered in a western dress. Who on earth are you?
太一、
My classic favorite visual novel scene transition effect. Well, this is a classic visual novel after all. Oh yeah, I heard it's getting a recent re-release. I can imagine it's only going to be turned into all ages as usual because I think the re-release is for like I think it's Switch or whatever. I don't know, Switch 2 or something. I don't know. They should re-release it with the special bonus items. You know what I mean? Anyway, the world is beautiful. That's what I thought as I looked over the town. I must be crazy, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful. The verdant summer atmosphere, so graceful that it seemed unfair to describe it with only a single phrase. The view from the mountaintop always gave me that impression. Between the softly breathing trees, I could see a flock of white buildings isolated from the outside world by these mountains. A town. A new, clean, and tranquil town, far from the region's capital. Sumari, the boondocks. The main body of the town stands between other steep mountains on the far side of this one. By the way, there is a sliver of a trail which eventually ends at the heart of the town, so you can gain access to rental shops, arcades, or game centers. I've been playing too much Uma Musume. Anyway, bookstores, bars, and even health services. There lies the ripened fruit of the culture bent on the extremities of fulfillment, commonly called a city. Now, on this side, the houses piled up like mountains. The mountains are also piled up like mountains. And there's the school. Only one of those. If you wanted to find something else that stood out, it all seemed very normal. I always wondered why schools are considered. You know, if you notice that schools tend to be located up a hill, it's very common in fucking anime. So I think it's it's a thing. It's a thing in IRL. I always wonder why schools are considered evacuation centers. Like, well, schools tend to have complete facilities. I don't know, man. I don't want to think about this right now, but they tend to be used as evacuation centers for some reason. That's also why they're located on top, I think. So I think it's no, wait. The only logic for that is like it's a place where you can be protected from a tsunami or some shit. But like if it's an earthquake, I think being on top of a hill is not going to save you, man. In fact, you could lose access to going down. You could lose access to the roads going down. I don't know, man. I'll read up on that. Anyway, that's random. This side of town was here to tend to the city. Manage the days, greet the people working like coach horses. See them off, give birth to them. Adult joke number 1. Hey. And then at night, kindly allow them to sleep loudly. Essentially, a bed town. TL note. A bed town simply means any small, relaxing town, as opposed to a big city. I miss TL notes, man. When I was watching anime back in fucking, I don't know, early 2000s, like 2003 or 2004, and if the subs were made during that time and not something retroactively added in 2010s, you'd see a lot of those TL notes. I think the last anime I watched with those TL notes was Lucky Star, but Lucky Star is a fucking it's Japanese Family Guy. Or maybe Japanese King of the Hill. I don't know, man. Anyway, even though they're both the same town, there seems to be complex political circumstances. Thus, on the map, that majestic mountain dividing the two came to be labeled as a hill. From any point of view, it's no trivial affair. It guarantees that someone will see the map, mistake it for an actual hill, bring their wife and son along on the hiking trip, and get into an accident. The only means of transportation to the city are the train and the unpaved mountain road. Technically, there's a road if you go toward the opposite peak, but that's really just a detour. It's useless added distance. We're out in the country. Once, a guy named Sakuraba from our class said,
"このニューチャリで峠を制覇してみせる。これって今の俺には必要なことだと思うから."
I like how I automatically recognize this voice actor, man. I was like, I know this guy. If you don't know who this guy is, you gotta have decades worth of anime to watch, man. You have decades. He was also in some visual novels, like Himanatsu. He was there in Himanatsu as the priest, and some other visual novels I can't remember. But the other visual novel I know him for is in Himanatsu as the priest. Of course, in anime, he's in a lot of roles. I guess you gotta watch JoJo if you don't know. Anyway, he flashed his teeth and set off on his journey. Or you can also watch Evangelion. He's also there. Then, Sakuraba didn't come home for 3 days, and the police were deployed. We believe he was trying out the mountain bike he just brought. Nevertheless, he got full of himself, arriving at a point 5 kilometers away from the neighboring Aihara town, super far away, before being stopped. While fleeing through one of the few paved roads in these mountains, he was apprehended. Why was he escaping? Sakuraba's family was about as wealthy as Kiriharas, another classmate of mine, and his parents were equally overprotective. They were called Sakuraba of the West and Kirihara of the East. Kirihara's family had descended from warriors, and she has a stringent aristocratic atmosphere about her. If you line the whole family up next to each other, they'd make faces as if they just chewed bitter insects. They had absolutely no love for one another, only poisoned tongues. Very interesting sentences. I don't know. Anyway, she's commonly called Harakiri. Harakiri. TL note. Harakiri, or seppuku, is an act of ritual suicide traditionally performed by samurai who suffered some great dishonor. Okay, so why is she called Harakiri? The Sakuraba family was the exact opposite. Thoroughly relaxed. The father was a decorated veteran who didn't notice the pain he had in his appendix and continued traveling until the moment of his death. I wonder if I think it's one of those things that you would have. I don't know if you would have instantly got the joke about regarding harakiri. I mean, even if you know the word what harakiri means, maybe there was a joke about like considering the context. You know, she's stringent, aristocratic, and then so maybe you know it's just saying she's an honorable person or something. I don't know. I'm making a guess. Anyway, without a doubt, that adventurous spirit of his was succeeded by his son. It's fun to take peeks into the Sakuraba's mellow spontaneity, such as when their son didn't return home by midnight, making his parents explain he's been kidnapped, and then call out the cops. Sakuraba was scolded beyond reason by those involved, and his bike was impounded. In addition, he became the laughingstock of the school. He also monopolized the front page of the school newspaper for a long time, particularly with the contents of his ramblings during his interviews.
緊急特報蓮ヶ岳奥地に謎の人工建造物を見た完全踏破12時間秘境の奥地に隠された禁断のオーバーテクノロジー長い道のりの果てここで我々は未だかつて想像だにしなかった衝撃の事実を見ることになる
Ridiculous. In short, on his way home, he took a wrong turn and entered one of the mountains. He probably thought it was a shortcut. Then he coincidentally discovered a certain facility and got overexcited. Even after this, the interview produced another terrible development.
秘密基地が衝撃の武装した兵隊らによって人類の常識を覆す
The top 5 words made use during the interview: mystery, 22 times; shocking, 19 times; discovery, 17 times; number 4, forbidden, 6 times; number 5, shiver, 4 times. The school newspaper saw Sakuraba as prey, picking him clean down to the marrow of his bones. Sakuraba learned firsthand the cruelty of mass media. After that, the stress gave him diarrhea for a week. This also became an article. On the morning of the 8th day, he came to school with a healthy face. This was reported on. His hair was colored blonde. That feature article received numerous complaints. Since then, his has been a blonde life. He must have conquered the streets by deceiving himself into becoming a new person. When I was near him, we were called the gold and silver combo. Ginkaku? Ginkaku? Or something. Anyway. But enough gossip. Of course, the super intelligent life form Sakuraba had seen visiting from space was actually a secretly constructed nuclear power plant bringing numerous wealth to the townsfolk. The dirt cheap land turned into a bundle of money right before our eyes. The modernization progressed, and civilization was enlightened. Many millionaires were born, buildings were built, and the population increased. The land was cheap, the taxes were low. Electricity was free. That's why there were innumerable meaningless lights in that town. Though they never went as far as setting up lights on benches. The town decided on healing as their theme. It was a title worth displaying for a remote town holding a nuclear power plant. The city hall was already an aesthetic Rococo style building. What is a Rococo style building? What the hell is that? That's the first time I heard that term. Give me a second. Rococo building. Oh, You know how it's like those in 17th century European buildings, very very fancy looking. Anyway, where everything from the facade to the interior overflow with the solemn spirit of "We shall heal Tao," and daunted all visitors. An incoherent land, which might be why I feel so comfortable here. A broken world that made one feel a strange sense of intimacy. Dot dot dot. It's a flippant sound. My head tilted to one side. My neck muscles were strained and hurt like hell. What is it? I turned around and there was a girl. Oh, that's the Empress. It's Her Majesty in good health? I raised one hand as I greeted her. She should be countering those spirited words with something teeming in wit. The moment I heard the this one, man, I knew she's out of key. Anyway, something like that. But she never met that expectation. Yet I could feel her indifferent rage. What's wrong, Kirihara? You should be playing along. Maybe that's it. That biological issue. Oh man, you can feel it. The atmosphere grew drastically heavier. But I won't stop. Laurel crown. Bay laurel has been used to promote the onset of menstruation. Man. The waves of hate swelled up. Red bean rice. Oh yeah, at least we when we read Kino Prison, we heard about this. Teal note. In some parts of Japan, that this is traditionally eaten in celebration of the women's first period. Soko. That's Kirihara's given name. In my mind, I call her dad without any honorifics. Her forehead seems to be tightening. She was actually saying, you? She has a list. Her characteristic intonation. When Toko, the noblewoman, showed her immaturity in her voice like that, I couldn't help but smile. And... my chin. A clean hit. No chance to evade. As that fist pushed me up, my head leaned back as if pointing to the heavens. Kirihara's secret style posited direct attack. A video game-like special effect danced around my mind. A low voice. If I complain anymore, this time I'll be kissing the ground instead of the sky. That was darkly conveyed to me. Sure, I'll help out, shaking. She silently grabbed my ear and began pulling me to the campsite. Hey, that hurts! That's a line only mothers can use when their children have turned into demons and need scolding. Haven't I already worked enough during this camp out? You won't let me have any rest at all. Am I a soldier? Kirihara? Was it like a good thing you came along? I was ignored. Her rejection of my conversation was piercingly loud. Even so, today is a day for talking beyond reason. Having all the comedic dialogue partners I had today is quite rare. Huh? Now, that's rude. Have I been given a lawyer? Have I now? When her grand sigh reached me, I withered. I was quietly led along. My line of sight fell to the expensive-looking dress dangling around her hunches. Peach. I whispered so she couldn't hear me. Oh. Think? To where?
カクカキ休暇1週間無駄にした気分よ。
Translation? It feels like this fun camp out is finally going to end, yeah.
脳割れてるんじゃない？
It's cracked. I had fun though. You know, you had fun too.
何か言った？
No, nothing that I know of. A week-long camp out. How many times did I see her smile? A disappointed facial expression is Toko's default setting, but there's no doubt she had fun. She's the one who got together all the materials for pitching the tents. Because this camp out was just like another world. The grip on my ear tightened. We exited the forest path to a wide open space, filled with light, brilliant sunlight.
撤収もうだいぶ終わっちゃってる。こらー、そこのおさばな2人。
The voice echoed loud and clear. Distinct vocals. Distinct vocals? It could be like distinct voices, but these vocals. Unless, you know, I don't know. Our club president.
私は違います。私は。
Don't run. That's dangerous, especially for my ear. Loosen up or it'll tear. It's tearing. It's staring. It's staring. My precious body is tearing apart.
いやー、何かエッチそうなことやってます。停学ですよ。
Our president's violently shaking voice.
このヒップ。
Ita! My beloved ear has finally been released. I rubbed it along with my beaten head, while smiling. Jeez, that hurt. Now, time for work. Time for work.
この男は。
Shigoto. I ran lightly.
まったく。
Toko's side came chasing after me. Everyone was there behind the president. We both ran toward them. Hey! I called to them without cause. The 5 faces which had been putting away pieces of tents all turned to me at once. With all eyes concentrated on me, I wanted to do something crazy. I threw off my shirt, becoming topless. Beside me, the ladies screamed as if to reel me back in. I rushed on naked and indifferent. My nipples collaborated with the wind. I fell 5 lines of sight. My spirits rose up and up and up. Please look at me! The 5 faces returned to their original directions without a single change in expression. Those guys in the camp are so used to this bullshit. Perfect cooperation, a fake out of the highest caliber. Ah, ridiculous yet delightful. Just here and now, we're having fun. Our camp out will end. The new term will start. Ordinary days will be coming. A perfectly ordinary tomorrow is coming. The new term starts today. Being in the house with no female presence, the process from waking up to going to school had no cutesy elements to speak of, so I left promptly without following any particular train of thought. My first walk to school in a month and a half. The weather was nice. Though it's still the beginning of September, it hasn't gotten too hot yet. My bangs softly lighted up my eyelids. That's the only slight discomfort. I really wanted to get this cut. Depressing. Because of the color, I don't like my hair that much. I started down the road to school while playing with my bangs. Walking. Next time, I should have someone else cut it. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, hey. The girl riding the bike lined herself up next to me with extremely natural timing. Though tottering, she skillfully kept her balance while matching my pace. That's not something which handles itself well at walking speeds. Her bike seemed to be quite an expensive type. It was well suited for this merry girl. She tried doing a slight wheelie. I saw her panties. Well, shit up. Too white. Pure. White. Solid white. It really is a great color. A wonderful color. I want to see more. Ah, I can't see him anymore.
ねえ、たいちゃん、裏山って行ったことある？
The girl has randomly tickled my male heart with a piece of cloth turned her neck in my direction. I have. I was camping out there until just recently.
夏休み中？
Yes.
ふーん、それでか。
What do you mean, that?
いや、あの一帯ってさ、神様がいるんだよね。
The two of us stared at each other for a while. Then, at the same exact time.
もんなすごいご利益があるわけさ。
Wait. Don't continue on like nothing happened.
いや、笑いたくなるのはごもっともですよ。私だって人からんなこと真顔で言われたら笑うわ。
Then, you made that straight face just to make me laugh.
そうだけど、でもちょっと真面目な話なんよ、これ。
A kami-sama?
そう。
If you write that in English, it's spelled G-O-D. The two of us stared at each other for a while.
話進まないよ。
There, I'll listen to you. What is it about kami-sama? First off, what kind of kami-sama is it?
ああ、それはナナカさんも知らないな。
Oh my. That moment I froze. Huge discovery. Wouldn't that Nanaka be way hotter if she wrote her name in hiragana rather than kanji? Bro, this is one of those things you gotta know Japanese. All right, I'm starting. It didn't take that long before I finally realized, the experience is already limited, man. The experience is already limited. It's fucking over before it even started. Anyway.
知ってる。
She said sharply. She doesn't seem to be the type to follow abrupt changes in
ほら、
direction.
ほこらあるでしょ？ほこら。
Hokora is a small Shinto shrine. If you write Hokora in katakana, it sounds like a highly contagious disease.
ほら、ほこらあるでしょ？ほ。
She must not want to fall on another tangent. Bro. This fucking visual novel is already over, man. They also did another word joke there. That's obviously native to Japanese. On the side of that patch through the forest?
そうそう。
Why did they just randomly ask Blink that Hokora, man? I'm like, why don't they want you to actually look at the Hokora for a split second? For a second. Like, they only did it so fast as if it was like, it's as if I'm reading a Dempa VN, and then, I don't know, man. As she lifted the handlebars for another wheelie, she executed a jump using only the rear tire. There was no reason for it, but it was still a pretty good trick. Gorgeous. Gorgeous plus delicious.
だろ？
A proud smile. Just for a moment, I was slightly enamored with her.
ほこらの神様ってのが激ゴイシャスでさ、核戦争が起こっても守ってくれちゃうくらいご利益があるって話だ。
Buy it. However, much gun insurance you may have, it's powerless to protect you from a gun.
いや、論点ずれてるし。
21st century gods ought to be more minimal and precise with their actions. Like a god who, when your girlfriend cheated on you with a much cooler guy, will leak it to you via text message the moment it got physical.
それ肯定できちゃうくらい権利意識が細分化してる社会ってのも末期的だよね。
Bro, okay, this is going over my head. They're making jokes that are going over my head, so this is already... Japan is calmly going mad. This time standing on the front wheel. I'm surprised. Oh, that bike is amazing.
自転車の方かい。
Let me ride it. Let me.
ダメ。 素人お断り。
That's harsh.
前も父が勝手に乗ってくれちゃってさ、しかも転んで傷つけて戻ってきてさ、もう大喧嘩したね。傷のこと問い詰めたらしらばっくれるしね。
Your papa must be a hassle.
母に言いつけたさ。
Is he a demon?
父お小遣い3ヶ月減らされてやんの。
Bro, 3 months. That is harsh. That is harsh. I can almost see the family portrait with such a simple flow of emotions.
ちょうどその時、父は同僚のパソコンにネットワーク経由でいたずら仕掛けてさ、非語フォルダっていうのを自動生成するプログラムで相手の公開フォルダを非語だらけにするっていう。
What the fuck is her dad doing? What the fuck is this kind of dad? What the hell, man? Anyway. An immature adult.
ところが仕掛ける相手を間違えて上司のパソコンひごまみれ。
This girl's father is a moron.
そんで仕事でも減俸3ヶ月食らってんの。もう母と大爆笑。
Okay, that explains why her allowance was also docked for 3 months. The world would be at peace if all families were like that.
ま、もうおらんがね。
Huh? The bike did the wheelie again. Ah, I saw her panties. Second sighting.
よっと。
I saw him again. Ah! Pure white, pure white, pure white. Eat him, eat him, eat him up. Bravo, enormous sight. I felt a
どう
unease.
したの？
Just now my intellect was at a risk of declining.
あー、君の知能は不安定なのかね？
I wonder if that bicycle seat likes the feeling of.
はい？
Nandemonite. Forget it. My rationally finally returned. I'm really weak against unforeseen erotic events. I stood up. Wait, what stood up? Anyway, now let's go to school.
どうして前かがみなの？
You're seriously asking that with such a young and innocent voice?
Eh?
Other than it being the result of a spatial dilemma relating to my lowermost parts, I can make no comment.
腰が痛いんだ。
An oboko really shouldn't be. What the fuck is an oboko? They never even. Oh man, maybe I really shouldn't go through this visual novel. Maybe I should try another visual. Maybe I should try a different translation. I'm using Amaterasu here. Maybe you know what? You know what? I heard it's so bad. It's either I go with the schizo interpretation or I go with this, which is whatever.
おぼこって何？
Okay. They did explain it. Oboko is an extremely obscure word for virgin, derived from a term for baby flathead mullet. I don't even know what the fuck is a baby flathead mullet. Your butt hurts. I distracted her.
気をつけなよ。子孫繁栄がやばいぞ。
Me some descendants.
呆れるほど欲望に正直な子だな。
An unexpected attack brings out true intentions. I really felt like thinking twice about what I just did. Any guy, upon seeing a cute girl, will rear the ugly red snake head of their desires. So you're a red snake. But normally blue snakes are safe.
中間がイエロースネークだったり？
Yeah, you might say a half. I became doubtful as I said that. I timidly turned back. Are you fed up with this? Nanaka smiled brightly.
うんうん。嬉しい。
What?
ほらほら、歩く歩く。海面体がねんねするまで後ろ走ってあげるからさ。
Corpus cavernosum. The corpus cavernosum is the predominant region of the male erectile tissue. You know what? This makes me realize that Nanaka knows Nanaka knows what she's doing this whole time, but she doesn't care, and she's still having fun regardless. So you knew it all along, you bitch. She knows. I still bore deep wounds from the Sakura Ba bicycle incident.
おお、 学校が見えてまいりました。
Guess she's one of those who doesn't really care.
白いね。新しいね。金かかってるね。
Wait, did that just connect with the previous joke? Would you mind transferring? I think you can still get admitted without an entrance
制
exam.
服は
I'll make it for you.
胸のところ丸く切り抜いた制服だろ。
Hey, I'd never do something so devilish. Just the skirt size would be 3 centimeters shorter than usual. If that's not a problem, then.
根性のないセクハラだな。さてと、私もそろそろ行かないと。
Such a wimpy form of Sekuhara. What? She's even asking for something much more. What the fuck? What is this? She pivoted her bike 180 degrees in place. Her motor skills were impressive.
少年、裏山の祠の話、あれ本当なんだ。
Huh? Her words had a meaning I couldn't take in.
どうしても行き詰まったら言ってごらん。
Okay. Her expression clouded as she exhaled.
こんなこと言っても何が変わるってわけでもないんだけどさ。
Nanaka.
おっと、湿っぽくなっちまいやがった。こいつはいけねえや。
She spun around in place with another wheelie. After the first revolution, she was already smiling,
じゃあね
beautifully waving her bundle of fingertips. She touched the tips of her toes to the pedals. One question. To her departing back.
何
We'd never met before. So, how did you know my name?
その質問に答えるには。
A white fingertip shot up, pointing to me. No, there's something behind me. I turned around, and for several seconds, the school was in my field of vision. No response. I turned my gaze to Nanaka. She disappeared. What? What the hell? What the fuck? Along with her bike. Not a phenomenon which could be explained just by the speed of her bike. Huh? Wait. No, wait, what? No, even I'm like, wait, what? What the fuck? What the hell happened just now? Huh? The cicadas weren't chirping. A quiet new term. Wait, what? What the fuck just happened just now? It's morning. I looked at my body. Was that a dream? What? I'm confused. I mean, that'll explain a lot of things, but like... I looked at my body. This was my unchanging room. I switched off the irritating alarm clock. Summer break starts at the beginning of the 9th month. September? Oh, maybe Japanese have a different 9th month for some reason. But it's September, right? I mean, huh? They have their summer break in September? But wouldn't that normally be like August? Because August is the... I don't know, man. You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to think about that. The heat of summer permeated the room. I wriggled my body into fresh clothes, and my hand through the strap of my book bag. There was a sandwich wrapped in plastic left on the dining table. An egg, vegetable, and potato sandwich. I shall take it with gratitude. Truly tasty. To me, without any basic life skills, this gift was a blessing. Now, I wouldn't have to assault the convenience store on the way to school. Gochisousama deshita. I pointed my hands east and bowed my head. Now, to school. Gakko. Today looks like it'll be another hot day. Upper Misaka town has had many hills. As the name implies, you'll note, the kanji for Misaka means sea and hill. Okay. There were a number of slanted surfaces one had to make their way through in order to reach the school. Just to make it there included rising and falling again. It made me think of the I can pronounce this word, vicissitudes of life, while making my soul and my feet feel quite unnerved. Heavy. Even though I was used to it, I felt heavy. Although walking is still good, climbing these hills on a bike would be much worse. Bikes are intended for use on flat ground. On a bike, the climbs get even harsher than they are on foot. But the descents are supreme bliss. It gave me the feeling that only times of distress continue on forever. At the hill's summit, I arrived at the intersection which connected to the shopping district. Yamanobe Miki. One of the two flowers live in the housing complex not far in that direction. Miki was my kohai by 1 year. Okay, we should be experts of the word kohai at this point, so we don't need to read this. Her hairstyle made her look like a witch from some world-famous fantasy series. She actually has a nice hairstyle. Her looks were, well, a lot like that. She can't use real maho, but she can be called a magician of words. Once she starts talking, she won't stop, and even before she's about to start talking, it's hard to stop her. Despite being a young girl, she has a rich vocabulary, and I never get sick of talking to her. Miki often hung out with another first-year student, Sakura Kiri. Opposite to Miki's long wavy hair was Kiri's short androgynous hair. Together they could brighten the place like a field of flowers. So they were called the Flowers. Ah, that's cute. A masculine existence in our club. Bukatsu. Besides, Miki loved miniskirts. She always wore one. She's also seriously cute, and she can play off my jokes. Setting aside the fact that I also love miniskirts, there's no reason for me not to like her. I'm holding her to the promise that she will give me her uniform after she graduates. What? Man, our guy is too strong. Although in exchange for that, the suggestion that I'd give her my second button was courteously rejected. It's customary to give the second button of your uniform to the girl you like when graduating. I heard about that, but I don't get about like her willing to give him her uniform. Because that's much more like, isn't that much, But I do know the custom about like the button thing. Hey, I entered the store on the edge of the shopping district. Tasaki Groceries. Hello? I spoke toward the back of the store. No answer. Guess they're out. Tasaki Groceries have been left empty for a while now. The owner, Tasaki Goichiro-san, age 47, single. We need to know the guy is age 47 and single. Is an unparalleled railway maniac. He often drifted out of the store to go take pictures at some far-out railway line. As a result, during that time, the store was left open. An uninhabited shop. He's a profligate to the core. He happens to have a face so evil, it was said that he killed crying kids in his 30s, but after his parents' deaths, his facial features became richer. Could it be said that something other than his inheritance changed the fundamentally wild coarse railway nerd into a decent person? Anyway, that lucky man's business remains one of the few local stores for the neighboring residents. I picked up the notepad and scribbled on it as I walked. September 7, Green Tea King. 130 yen. Korosu Taichi. With the tape that had been left out, I stuck that note to the wall. At least they're very honest about, it's a honesty system. I mean, this is Japan. People know things. I saw the several other memos that had already been put up. Miki. She already left. September 3, vegetable juice. Healthy Gogo. 110 yen. Yamanobe Miki. September 3, Magdalene Lychee. 110 yen. Sakuraba Hiroshi. September 4, natural bottled pep water. 140 yen. Miyasumi Misato. September 5, vegetable juice Healthy Gogo. 110 yen. Yamanobe Miki. There's a lot of these. September 5, Great King Doria, 110 yen. Sakuraba Hiroshi. It wasn't that great. I like how he had it. It wasn't that great. TL note. Doria is something like a seafood and rice casserole. Oh, yeah. It's, I guess it's, I have an idea what it is. It's like, well, he didn't explain. It's a casserole, but the thing I'm imagining right now is like you have this bowl like plate thing. No, it's a bowl. Then you have rice. Then you have seafood and rice, and then normally it's covered with cheese, melted cheese. Maybe I'm imagining it because that's how when I see something like seafood and rice casserole, that's the first thing I think of. Anyway, with like a tomato sauce ish. I don't know, man, but that's the first image that comes into my mind. Actually, let me Google that, man. If I'm correct, that's the Japanese doria. Yeah, that is correct. A rice casserole baked with creamy white bechamel sauce, cheese, and various toppings like seafood and meat. It's a Japanese version of rice gratin. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I forget the bechamel stuff. Anyway. September 6, vegetable juice healthy go-go, 110 yen, Yamanobe Miki. September 6, pepper captain, 110, Sakura Kiri. Reading through a lot of papers here. Miki, you're stretching your credit. She hasn't paid, bro. That's the tab. they have so much tabs, man. It'll be bad when the time comes for accounting. And Sakuraba, we don't need your opinion. Underneath Sakuraba's idiocy there was another memo. Someone hid theirs. It caught my interest, so I tore off the top note. September 6, natural bottle pet water. Time 3. 420, Kirihara. What's this now? Ojo-sama's greedy enough to buy 3 at once. TL. Of course, we know what Ojo means, but let's read this. Ojo is a natural way to address a young girl, especially a rich and well-mannered one. Wait. Neutral. Huh? Neutral? Oh, okay. So I'm guessing he specifically said neutral because it can be taken as either the negative connotation, there's sometimes you could take something as have a negative connotation. If you use Ojo as a negative connotation, it could be someone who's acting like a princess or something, Anyway, she's rich, yet this embarrassed her. Ah, how lonely. I restuck her note in the most obvious spot. Perfectly flat. That should do it. I went to the back of the store and took out a bottle of green tea and put that on credit. I left the store. As the green tea flowed down my throat, I headed for the school. What's this? Someone was already in the classroom. A window seat. A girl was resting her chin on her hand. She gave me a single glance. Oh, it's Toko. Wait, I thought today was a school day, so they would be wearing their school uniforms. She's wearing her casual clothes. With no words, her line of sight moved back outside. You got here fast. Oh, wait, no, it might still be summer. Because it's still September, right? And yet you're in your casual wear again. Okay, he actually does ask about it. I'm impressed you can wear something so warm. Ignore. Hey! I shrugged my shoulders and sat down in my seat, right next to Toko's. Just like a hedgehog. I really like seeing that teal note. Because, you know, each time I see the word hedgehog and then the teal note does the hedgehog's dilemma thing, I was like, it's that Evangelion reference again. Anyway, This may be a reference to this may be okay. So he's just thinking about it. He's speculating. This may be a reference to the hedgehog's dilemma, which states that human intimacy cannot occur without mutual harm. Recently, I've been sharpening my quills. Okay. I think that's the correct reference to it. But I've done the same for everyone else, so it's nothing to worry about. The quills she has for me, though, might have a bit of poison on them. Maybe it's just me. I might just be overly self-conscious. But, just by thinking that, I had a spasm. No, I can't let that happen. The blood spasm was small, and there was no danger of it blowing away my rationality. In exchange for the discomfort of holding down my rising stomach acid, I pushed the spasm's head into the abyss. Its grotesque tongue cut into the earth's surface. Okay, that's interesting. Why did he have a spasm? Obviously, it's gonna be explained, but like, okay. Hey.
何
Toka sounded thoroughly fed up. The bottom of your dress has a tear. I can see your panties. She hurriedly stood up and grabbed her butt with both hands. Why are you standing up? An unexpected palm slap. Slipped down. I fell over spectacularly. Toko had already sat back down in the same posture as before. It was just a joke. She seemed unwilling to interact with me, with clear exclusivity. Her armor had a lot of chinks. Dropping my book bag on my desk, I gazed around the mostly empty classroom. There's still time before class commences. What should I do? Okay. Okay, so I'm using a guide, not gonna lie. Where is it? Where's the tab for it? I opened a tab for it. Where's the tab? I fucking had so much tabs open for Uma Musume. Wait, give me a second. There you go. Okujo? We should go to the Okujo. Okay. Alright, let's go to the Okujo. The club's morning activities ought to be going on around now. Although morning activities are a bit odd for an academic club. I'll go check out the roof. Which means I'm skipping. Please answer the roll call in my place. Toko laughed through her nose. Did she think I was looking down on her? I found this part of her to be naive. If you're going to ignore me, you have to keep ignoring me. In order to lessen the value of the one being ignored, you have to be like the air itself. Maintain an uninterested face, and don't bare your canines. Her intentions lack aggression. I give her a 25%. However, that may be her way of suggesting how she sees me from her perspective.
大変何を寝ぼけたこと
I'm just optimistic. I give her my usual answer and went out into the corridor. More than you.
よく言う
But Toko pushed out no more words after that. She did raise her hips and glare at my direction, but even that gaze was wandering. If you feel like it, come participate. The kind of eyes one might have when looking upon their parents' murderer. Any more of this will only breed discord. I left the classroom quietly, then changed my mind. I really do love you. School books, she did bring them, flew toward me. You could tell. It's so bullshit. Oh! I closed the door as a shield. Human relations are difficult. I'm gonna end at the next scene. The next scene change. I mean the when you see the word cross channel thing, or maybe I'm just I have to prepare dinner, or I could always pause this. You know, yeah, I could always pause this. We might go longer then. Even though I'm only opening a door, I felt myself hesitate slightly. I wonder how I should behave around her. But humans are creatures of mood, And this morning I was in the mood to come here. That's enough of an explanation for me. But what will senpai think? That's a interesting spelling of senpai. It's M instead of N. Okay. That bothered me a little. I twisted the knob and pushed the iron door outward. The wind blew. It was blowing at the moment I stepped outside. But that mysterious part of me that mysteriously put me in a sunny mood. A massive water tower was on the other side of the stairs, but in the direction I was facing, a large antenna rose up, sharing the tower's foundation. Of course, we start out with a good view, huh? An antenna, still incomplete, due to insufficient parts and knowledge. And as she compensated for that with her optimism, it had slowly taken shape. Just one girl. And right now, that one girl was standing with the antenna cradled in the wind. I admired her enough to feel envious. Miyasumi Misato. Misato senpai. Senpai! As I called out to her, her brown hair became filmy. Filmy? And undulated in the swirling wind. She turned in my direction. The strong wind turned her glossy hair into rapids. Misato senpai made an effort to part the flow of her hair with one hand, allowing me to see her face. Under the rapidly strengthening sunlight, her expression had become senile. Senile? Just as the summer days were fading. That's why I knew that her expression would melt away in a single moment. Her plump reddened lips bloomed as they formed words. The wind ringing in my ears drowned out her whispers. But by the movement of her lips, I could understand what she was saying. I smiled in response. Here I am. Hello. I screamed while thrusting both hands in the air. The corner of Senpai's eyes fell. Like a film in slow motion, I watched her face settle into a gentle expression. She answered. She was her usual self. I can see your panties! I said that for no reason. She said she can't possibly hear me. I actually can see her panties. If I was any closer, my rationality would be in jeopardy. Because I prepared myself for the possibility of this strong wind exposing her undergarments. I managed to remain calm despite witnessing those sinfully sensual third-year girls' thighs and experience an inescapable passion of an upside-down triangle squeezing its talons around my male heart. The inescapable passion of the upside-down triangle as Tai Chi An for the mind of a woman's underwear. Teal note: upside-down triangle is a popular if crude euphemism for the female crotch. Oh, okay, I get it. Taichi's reference range of preference is wide, but he definitely prefers younger women's panties. At the highest of the pure whites and the lowest of the less vicious colors, it can alter his erotic standards. If I hadn't been ready for it, lowly bug that I am, I would have been able to hold back my lust for the girls' lunches as they induced me to commit sins of the flesh. Please sell me your panties! He'll know. The previous line was Pantsu wo ute. Pantsu wo ute kudasai. And this one is Pantsu ke kudasai. Mm-hmm. She can hear me, Mexican pronunciation. Since Spanish and Japanese vowels happen to have nearly identical pronunciation, this actually isn't as random as it may sound. Lunch, let's eat together. Senpai made little circles with her raised fist. Sanin. Somehow I managed to distract her. That was a close one. I'm keeping my dirty side a secret from Senpai. Being scorned by her would be a bit painful, because she was the only one. She was the one who when I was all alone, invited me to the broadcasting club.
それが用事だったのですか？
No, but since I'm here, I'll help out with the club.
ついで？
Her face tightened. You're a stickler for words.
はあ、ちょっとお待ちください。はい、お待たせです。
She folded her arms together and smiled. It seemed as if the location of her hands was just right to cover up her groiny Tai Chian for the word mind of the word crotch. Without a doubt, he's personifying it. My mental Photoshop turned up and running in 0.1 seconds. After all, it is inside my mind. On the first pass, I cut out Senpai's face from the background. I searched for the new picture of the Garab idol in a similar posture. TL note. Grab idols. Okay, man, I'm not gonna explain this. You guys should notice, man. You guys should notice, man. I'm not gonna explain this anymore. There was one such image file. It appeared to be from an old photo book of a then famous nude idol who had been riding on her boyfriend's coattails. Hail Buddha. Anyway, I merged that picture with the layer with Senpai's face. And I did a lot of touch-up, mainly blurring and erasing parts that overlap at the neck. I felt that the breasts were inaccurate, so I looked for a more well-rounded pair and merged them in. While I was at it, I used the exposed skin for Senpai's real arms and legs. I looked at the whole body, then began to adjust the brightness to fill in shadows. Jesus Christ, we really had some shit about this. I dealt with the indifference in skin color by adding a new layer light yellow, then using soft lines in paint mode. It was a bit lonely without a background, so I inserted an austere church hall image behind Senpai's layer. Kambiki. Here was consummate an erotic collage that will last a decade. Without delay, I saved it to the level S subfolder within the Mad Homework folder on my mental drive. The images are separated into S, A, B, C, and D categories. S is the strongest, D the weakest. The real computer uses the same system. Incidentally, my final will and testament begins with this. Please throw away my hard drive without thinking. Any inspection or memorabilia is strictly prohibited. If you look at it, I'll haunt you with all my ghostly powers. I must never allow my Math Homework folder to be seen by anyone, because that Math Homework folder is none other than my wildest urges incarnated. Yes, the Math Homework folder is my secret forbidden holy sanctuary.
数学課題フォルダーがどうかしましたか？
I say that out loud. Anyway, I'll be right back. I mentioned earlier I was supposed to prepare dinner, so I'm gonna prepare dinner. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna be parboiling and dumping things into a rice cooker. No, actually, it has to go be marinated, but then I'll dump things in the rice cooker. Anyway, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. It's, I don't know, an hour or two since I paused the video recording. Anyway, I'll probably go on for another 30 minutes to an hour. So let's go. I unconsciously said it out loud. Mexican again. Lady, might there be something which may I assist you? I respectfully took her hand. Senpai remained calm.
でももう学校の時間ですよ。
That tilting of her head was criminal. Got, class. I shook my head excessively and laughed off her question. Is there really anything I ought to prioritize other than helping you?
Huh?
Senpai was splendid, even when puzzled. Would you deign to entrust me with ensuring the success of your posterity? What? I shut my mouth with my hands. I need to do something about about that habit of blurting out what I'm thinking. The antenna seems to be taking shape.
頑張りました。
Is it complete yet?
まだ全然なんですよ、これが。
The antenna should have been set up by the dealer. but they just abandoned it here after delivering it.
専門家じゃありませんし、だましだまし組み立ててます。本体はいいとしても、配線や調整は手つかずですし。
Ah. Unfortunately, I had no such knowledge. Then I guess there's nothing for me to help
お
with.
気持ちだけで。
I glanced at Senpai's hands and saw they were covered in wounds. Ah. She really has been slaving away at this, even though her arms were too slender to carry even the computer monitor up here. Senpai?
はい。
Why are you trying to do this by yourself? The rest of the club is still out there. Why don't we get them together?
私、部長だったりしますし、部長がやらねば誰もついてこないでしょ。
Well, it's not like anyone's coming to join you right now.
ペケ君がやってきてくれました。
Oh. A little counter-argument.
それに、自分がやりたいというのもありますし、私は好きなことやってるだけです。みんなと同じに。
Everyone. They're not all doing what they love, you know.
そうですか？
I think so. Somehow. It may not seem that way, but I'm sure of it. Since we're in this environment.
それは、私もそうですよ。
Her expression faltered for a moment. Then her smile blew once again. You're strong, Mimimi Senpai. Mimimi Senpai. Short for Miyasumi Misato. Okay, that's kind of cute. It came out. Her raw countenance. An expression so colorless it seemed indifferent. This is her, I'm very irritated face.
そんな先輩はいないですよ。
Go in. My mistake, Mimi Senpai.
ペケ君はじゃあ、もう落ち着いちゃったわけだ。
Damn, she's cute. But I wonder why one extra me bugs her that much. Moreover, why is she perfectly fine with Mimi Senpai?
それでここに来たと。
Well, yes. Though in reality, I just wanted to tease her more.
いい子ですね。
She patted me on the head. Her soft fingertips ran over my hair. Ah, she's rubbing the top of my hair so delicately. My hips are itching. I'm a horrible person. My hips are itching.
どうしました？
Ted has been constructed.
どこにです？
Mimi Senpai, please tell me about the range of math formulas you learned last term. Is this the equivalent of I'm thinking about baseball or some shit?
いいですよ。
I stood straight up in an inverse proportion to the incomprehensibility of her statements. Excuse me a moment, mademoiselle.
唐突に口調が紳士っぽいです。
Being a gentleman is my livelihood.
あと、マモドアゼルじゃなくて、マドモアゼルですね。
Now, what should I help you with?
でも、もう始業時間過ぎてますから。
But her hands were shaking. Senpai, are you holding maracas? Make fun of her, knock her down, make her atone. Okay, where the hell, which browser window? I have a lot of browser windows, man. Knock her down. Knock her down? How am I supposed to make a joke out of that? Time for class. Since the bell hadn't rung, I didn't notice. You going to cut?
おや、悪い子がいるみたいですね。でも、そうですね。
She looked at the sky inside.
悪い子ですもんね。
Give me a second. What did you say?
いいえ、なんでも。と言っても、日中は暑いですから、ここでの作業はしないんですよ。 ですから、せっかくサボってもやることってないんです。
Ah, I see. It would be a problem if she got sunstroke.
夕方からまた再起動です。
May I
ケ
help?
ケ君の方が強いです。ちゃんと心の整理して自分のやることを決めてるんですから。
This topic suddenly returned. Aren't you that way too, senpai? A hint of sorrow materialized on the outline of her oval face. She looked ready to cry, and my chest tightened. That's right. She's the only one who can make me feel this. This ordinary, natural, and prideful yearning. Regardless of my feelings towards the other sex, I feel as if I like this person. I want her to be happy. I don't want her to hate me.
どうかしましたか？
Damn. The CG, holy shit, man. Just zooms in. Ah! Senpai's face was within inches of mine. I died and went to heaven.
うん。レッグラー。
I impressed her somehow. It's gotten pretty hot. Should we go back inside?
そうしますか。
The broadcasting club Bucho-san moved her eyes onto the antenna just once. I don't know what she was thinking at that moment. She's not the type to show her true self that easily. That's why her amazed face a moment ago was so precious. I learned that her gentle face was nothing more than a mask. The cicadas are noisy, even in this heat. Those guys are always giving it their all. Even so, what am I going to do from now on? With this roasting sun above the roof, there weren't many places I could go to cool down. I tried peeking into a nearby classroom, but as I feared, there was a class in session. Year 1, Class E. Machiko Sensei teaches them. We already know the teal note. Don't worry guys, you know this shit. Sato Machiko. Her height was 173 centimeters, and she was the owner of the glamorous dynamite body, yet she has no history of wearing brand name clothing. Her glasses looked great on her, and her long hair had a dark indigo luster. Heightening her cheekness further were those captivating, glossy, plump, charming lips, which, in my eyes, made her the strongest life form of all. That's her second year of employment here. She became a teacher the same year we came here, and now that woman was moving toward the blackboard. But Machiko Sensei held deep sins. Yes, she was a sinner. One could say the lion's share of those sins lie in the bulges sticking out from within her shirt. Even though her actual body was tall and thin, her breasts were so massive they seemed ready to tear off at any moment. And I dare say, it would be magnificent to see them fly away in the opposite directions. Her glasses were seductive enough to drench me in such thoughts, during which I exponentially more useless than usual. This guy can't. Man, Amatsu-kun is too strong, man. Amatsu-kun is just too strong. If you know my reference. Anyway, her buttocks were yet another heinous weapon. No less dangerous than a 14-year-old who snapped for some reason and grabbed a knife. This comparison. Those round hips strained my nerves, and if I were ever pushed into that space all men envied within her tight skirt, I'd likely say, my immature flesh can't relax in these confined quarters. There have been 5 or 10 times when I thought of slitting a cutting knife through the center of her skirt, where it forms a bridge across her butt crack. A dangerous woman. Jesus, this guy. Because of the evil principal and gang bosses, her Her imoto, a student who's great at academics and sports, is equally popular with boys and girls, was used in order to coerce her into satisfying their sexual desires. What the fuck am I reading? I've always wanted to protect her from that sort of French study-esque crisis. No. Okay, what's this? French study, or Furansu Soin, is a Japanese publisher specializing in erotic novels. Okay. Interesting to know. As a freshman, I used to sexually harass the then student teacher, Machiko sensei. Once I made her cry during class, so I went AWOL for 3 days, and I still regret that. Then I got suspended, and Senpai got to know me as Suspension-kun. Well, at least that allowed me to get closer to her. Moving on. Since then, all points of contact between Machiko sensei and I have disappeared. In less than 2 years, our student teacher changed, and she left my class for good. Farewell, immature memories. I should have set a limit to some kind on my harassment. But if she was gonna hate me then, I should have fondled her more. Jesus Christ, bro. What the fuck? When I thought that, I knew it was over for me as a human being. Anyway, if I keep loitering in the hallway, someone's going to find me. I'll go buy a meal ticket on the way to the club room. Perfect plan, comrades. Since meal A sells out around third period, I wanted to eat it at the end of the first, so it happened to be the first period now. It's a course for the cafeteria. People line up for that meal all the time. This sometimes made a few students late for second period. Whenever this starts to happen often, the school suddenly remembers to proclaim no advance purchasing of meal tickets. They should just prepare more meals for us. Everyone thinks that. But the limit on the number of available meals was an iron rule. I guess to avoid having leftovers. That's why I can't let this opportunity slip away. After all, there couldn't be a line there this early in the first period. It was vacant. Oba-chan, meal ace. Of course, bro, we know what the meaning of Oba-chan, so let's move on. I bought the meal ticket without injury. Piece of cake. As I entered the club room, the boy sitting in the folded chair reading the magazine looked up at me. My oh my, if it isn't Tomoki sensei. What a coincidence. Did you also come here to do that? He raised his little finger. He responded with a puzzled face. Tomoki's the type who can't ad-lib to save his life. He's definitely a nice guy at parties, but without a doubt he's classified as a boring person. You're cutting class, aren't you?
そっちこそ。うちのクラスは自習になったんだ。
Okay, we also know this, man. Let's move on. He returned his eyes to the magazine and sipped his coffee-flavored milk. That makes sense. He just left class at that point to come loiter here. Even a goody two-shoes like him dares to break the rules. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Let's continue. Even a goody two-shoes like him dares to break the rules. What about the meal ticket? Not bad. A cold shoulder. Somehow it discouraged me. And all, the broadcasting club divides up its labor based on on character, so I couldn't be expecting much follow-up from Tomoki, whose assigned role was the stooge. Teal note, he's referring to the stooge of the standard. Okay, never mind. we know what a stooge is. I thought that was very. It's a very. Oh, whatever. Anyway, I looked out the window. Strong sunbeams shone through. Hot again today.
冷蔵庫にもう一個あるけど。
80 yen, was it?
そう。
I'll take it. I dropped my pocket change in his outstretched hand and opened the room's refrigerator.
全部の硬貨に正倉院が刻まれてるんですけど。
I ignored his implied claim and began drinking. I basically threw whatever coins he had. It wasn't even necessary, like, you know.
もう
With no further pursuit of that subject, time lazily flowed on. I looked at the lawn table with various monitors and machines lined up beside the window. The broadcasting club's equipment. The broadcasting room was next door. This is technically a storage room, but since it has its own generator, mini refrigerator, arcade machine, and battery charger all lined up in a neat row, this was the foremost lawless space within the school. Huh? Is this how it's supposed to be wired?
新しいマシン組むからちょっと構成変える。
Tomoki is quite a computer nerd. Flowers always bloom in conversations between him and Miki about CPUs and memory and the like. Apparently, he met another cute girl from another school through a bulletin board system. He met her in real life once before transferring here. She came to his house when he got sick. She said, I've been taking care of Tomoki-kun. The appearance of this fiercely cute life form in a slightly different school uniform gave me a shock that still remains clear in my memory. She, Yuka-chan, had continued to take care of him diligently long after that. I'm sure that if Tomoki wanted to, she's perfectly willing to take off her underwear and give it to him raw. This guy.
何すんの。
I suddenly felt vexed.
はい何がわけわかんざき。
Tomoki's comebacks couldn't be more boring. It must be a mistake for such a cute girl to be clinging to this guy. That's unclean. I heard a muffled laughter. Oh, she was here? There was a small-bodied girl wearing glasses who probably just arrived from the broadcasting room.
相変わらず先輩方は
ガタって。
It was our kohai, Fukuhara Miyuki. Hey now. Hey, how you been? Oya? Oya oya? Wait.
なんです？
Miyuki sensed the danger and leaned
どう
back.
せまた地味だとか言うんですよね。
What a plain girl. The girl was shaking. You really are. Why are you so plain? I wonder. Why do your hairbands look so cheap? Why are your eyebrows so bushy? Why isn't your skirt any shorter?
スカートはちょっと
Yes.
首筋を優しく撫でないでくださいよ。耳に指入れないで。
Funnel attack. Yet your body is so... a waste. Simply a waste. It's such a waste, I'll just eat it up. I bent over and chopped onto her ear. The scent of a girl. Even in a fairy tale, this could only be interpreted as sexual harassment. Sikohara. Miyuki reached the peak of her ecstasy. Lies?
やめてあげなよそこのいじめっ子。
Oh, what's this now? You already have someone, but you're locking onto her too.
関係ないだろ。
You lovely little sniper. I spat out. But my rifle of love is always aimed at the plain little you. The moment I repositioned my line of sight, the broadcasting room door closed. Then she locked it. Miyuki was no longer in the room. I glared at Tomoki while he pretended not to care by reading manga. What's the secret to bringing out their kindness?
はあ
Forget it. More importantly, what's Miyuki doing?
あえて後輩は平気で呼び捨てるよな。
She's just a kohai after all. Calm silence.
そういうとこ尊敬するよ。福原のクラスも自習なんだってさ。
Ah, so that's how it is. With the mystery solved, I lost interest. Think I've driven off another one.
多分な。
He sat back down in his chair. The summer sunbeam still didn't quite reach most of the room. It's nice that the broadcasting club gets to use this room.
そうだね。
Tomaki, still reading, answered really easily. What are you reading?
サイコマン。
A manga from the early 80s. Its official full title is Ninja Hattori-kun plus Paaman Superpower Wars. Hachibata dies and the culprit is identified as Shinsaki.
言うなよ。
Can you stop me?
ああ、言うなよ。ラジオレッドのオチとか絶対言うなよ。
Father Anderson saves Yoriko from the spy. Let's kidnap her.
言うなよ。
Wait, is that fucking... I oppose controlling others through words.
裏切り者。
Is this straight up like... what the fuck? What am I looking at? Is this like the Powerpuff Girls art? What art's that? What the fuck? Epicurean. Epicurus was an ancient Greek philosopher who taught, among many other things, that pleasure and pain are measures of what is good and bad in this life. During that struggle, Miyuki opened the inner door and stuck out her head, sailing softly.
先輩先生が来た。
あれ太一
You idiot! Hide faster! I've already finished concealing my body in what would be a blind spot to someone looking in from the corridor. Tomoki was rushing around in all directions.
先輩こっちこっち。
Tomoki shrank down and ran into the broadcasting room, together with Miyuki. Ah, I should have gone in there. Damn it, I can't let myself cry. As the door closed, Muscles, 190 centimeters tall, approached through the hallway. It's Mammoth. Manda Juzo. Nickname Mammoth, a genius at corporal punishment. This won't end well if he sees me. I once saw the guy squeeze a metal scan down to the size of a ping pong ball in an instant. Plus, his style of corporate punishment was suitable for the 21st century, so it couldn't be looked down upon. He excelled in techniques which granted agony without leaving marks. That was his scheme, to avoid the fear of class action lawsuit from our mothers. Mammoth possessed dreadful, cunning, agonizing muscles which rivaled the pygmy marmoset. The giant gradually went past us. Then his gaze turned toward our room. He walked away. I cursed him to be hunted down by primitive man. The Siberian tundra would be a fitting graveyard for the likes of you. I left my hiding place.
危ない危ない。
カーテンつけた方がいいですよね。
禁止されてんだよ。学校もよくわかってるよな。
I got an idea.
は
I'm well aware that of what you both think of me, but this is no stupid joke. This is a seriously good
あ、
idea.
どんなんです？
Tomoki, start up the machines and get me a digital camera.
はあ
Ugh. Anyway, now that I'd killed some time in the club room, I was on the way back to my classroom. There was a virgin stooping down in the unpopular corridor. Are you alright, Ojo-san? I extended my hand toward her butt. The girl displayed her formidability by standing up in an instant. Then she shuffled away to gain distance from me. She can switch to a state of military alertness in no time flat. Plus, in the moment she jumped up, she sent an attack in my direction. You're not that bad.
先輩こそ。
With one hand, I stopped the mop she'd thrown at my face, letting it fall silently to the floor. It feels like we haven't met in a while.
そうですね。
There stood the girl, like a heroine from a famous fantasy novel adapted into a movie. But relax. That's the only way she looks. Wait, that's only the way she looks. Since it's been so long, I seem to have forgotten your
い
name.
や
So be at ease.
ーせめて女性の名前で
Just use a girl's Johnson. Her face told me she had enough of the foreigners. You've improved, Miki.
え
Yamanobe Miki stood out a chest as so meager as to invite tears. What the fuck, man? Don't you know Flash Justice?
私のお尻は高いですから
Did he say that out loud? What the fuck? Her butt is really high. No, I did touch it a little.
サービスです
Damn, man. Service. She's unfazed. But until I flip that skirt,
めくれてません
she's good. Lust won't work on her anymore. Farewell. This time I shall leave the flower alone. She smiled widely. Ah, hug me. What have you been doing? Cleaning for fun?
あはいなんかここんとこ汚れてて足きれい好き
She was putting her fictional muscles into it. You're doing this spontaneously? That's so cool. Ah, I get it. I get it. Let me tell everyone, my sweet. You want my autograph, don't you? The autograph of I, Enjoying Taichi. You've been urging me for it through the display of school piety. Teal note. Taichi is most likely referring to Inujin Hikaru, a popular Japanese TV and radio personality.
あああれですかなんか久々ですね
She made a truly faint pace. In fact, she seems like she's about to cry. Did I repeat just now? I thought that 2 times. Okay, he literally did. Now, don't panic. Deal with this calmly. As an elite young adult candidate who's tasted both the sweet and sours of life. What's wrong, Yamanobe-kun? If you don't want me to, then I won't think of filling in that blank space on the paper. I'm saying this honestly. Her voice was shaking. Oh no, she's crying. I wiped the corners of her eyes. She was about to make me cry too.
あいえなんでもありませんさあ涙腺からちょっと青春汁が漏れて
What? Youthful fluid? Don't scare me. I wiped away my cold sweat. Then this time, I shall postpone the princess, my autograph signing. A scream that could make her throat
い
hoarse.
ますしてください
You wanted that badly? I shrunk back.
してくださいしてください
She repeated, please do it, with a shrill voice. My lower abdomen was getting hot. Why is that? Why is it doing that? My corpus cavernum is always ignoring my will and running wild on its own. Even if I focus my thoughts on fairy tales, the beastliness won't disappear. Fine, I'll do it. Miki fumbled around her vertical chest, then took out her mate book. That's what they call that notebook that also doubles as the school's identification card. Indeed, it seems you do not know the existence of this school's historic mate book, the #1 popular high-class public bathhouse available behind the train station of the city. Taichi is most likely alluding to the ancient Roman public bathhouses, which were then a major part of this daily social intercourse. He also seems to be creatively specifying the half of the city he lives in. I don't know, man. You're given the notebook when you become a member of the society, and you receive a princess stamp each time you make use of it. Based on the stamps you collect, they may decide to let you moderately enjoy prizes such as W and Triple. The Triple. What kind of word is that? Is that Shangri-La? Is that sun yellow? An erection has come. Crap. If I shift to a forward-leaning position, Miki's going to catch on. Miki's a virgin. Why are we? But she's well versed in the male biology. Because I thought you've been harassing her. That's why. What the fuck, bro? She'll notice when I lean forward or not. But If I remain dignified, I can at least save face. She already noticed it. That's why she's dot dot dot. Ah, she glanced. Mickey's face is fairly red now. She says nothing. She looked out of the window with a slight shyness. That just makes it more embarrassing. Say something. Please use your words to toy with me. The insolent and shameful god of destruction was suppressed. Perhaps because he has no first-hand experience. He's weak when faced honestly. Daihara is prohibited. What the fuck? Daihara is Dai-chan for direct sexual... Daihara, okay. Direct sexual harassment. Most immature indecency such as exposing genitalia and making a female touch them. Pop knot, detonation switch, single hook fisting, etc. Depending on the situation, they may be seen as perverted conduct. What the fuck? It is straight up perverted conduct. What the hell? What do you mean depending on situation? Or should I say all of those are perfectly inexcusable acts of perversion? You nearly used up your notebook, Mickey. It's falling apart. Mickey meaninglessly repeated my words as a form of agreement. As I flipped through the pages, I found very large signatures already scribbled with it in the margins. This continued over several pages. It was as if she was collecting my signatures, although technically I was making her collect them. I found a blank page and wrote in a new signature. I ended up borrowing your chest padding today only because I wanted to sign it. So, don't think I'm doing this to make fun of you. Are you sure? I finished my signature. Miki's face was calm. She certainly didn't seem to mind. I scanned the other pages. I see. I handed back the notebook. She held it against her chest, which was as flat as the book of the sliver. This guy, bro. What's his problem, man? It's not like that reassures me or anything. I lost my head and reverted to infancy. Oh, there's a grab her chest. What's the option here? We're doing one particular route right now. Grab her chest. Okay. My hand naturally stretched toward the smiling girl's chest. I must have penetrated the blind spot because Miki neither budged nor lost her smile. I realized I was holding boobs. That plank that I thought had nothing on had a definite, albeit faint texture. Her lips maintained a smile as they tightened. Sorry, my hand unconsciously... What the fuck? It may not be my place to say this, but there's actually some mass here. That's wonderful. No, there's hope for the future. This is too much for words. To think that this small, no, pen of yours is big of a three-dimensional solid. What the fuck is wrong with this guy, bro? Why is he talk like this? This is next level sexual harassment, man. I stopped following her for a moment and looked at her face. Miki was crying. Huh? What? I made her cry? I made her cry? Quiet tears. Without sobbing, they slid down the curves of her cheeks. These are the kind of tears one has been moved by the beauty of an artistic masterpiece. These shouldn't be the tears which flow for sexual harassment. What? She cried because someone complimented her having boobs? Okay. I hesitated, then stopped, because I can't understand. Miki eventually wiped her tears. Her arms ran back and forth her eyebrows, and when they were finished, they leapt behind her normal smile. Oh! She hit the secret spot on my arm, near the elbow with one punch. Oh, my muscles hurt like hell. If I try to make a tight fist, I get painful jolts down my nerves. I'm in pain. Mickey's cleaning. Wait, you are Mickey, right? No, never
これ
mind.
は胸があったからミキではないという意味のご発言でございましょうか。
I spat fictional saliva at her. To be honest, I'm
は
disillusioned.
あ、
How many hardcore fans have you just
固
lost?
定ファン？
I mean, it's not impossible you were receiving support from a certain unsociable persons that kindergartens is meant to protect kids from. Not just because you're a lolly, but also because you're flat. We know this term.
世
Don't
も
worry.
末だな。
Don't worry, we're experts about the teal note. Mickey, you idiot. I'm sorry for sexually harassing you. I managed to slander and apologize at the same time, after which I ran away. I set off on a journey. That's right, Mickey. I stood still. I forgot to tell her something important.
はい。
She says the club activities are going to start up again soon. I think I'm gonna call it here. When am I gonna continue this? Are we gonna do this tomorrow? I don't know, but I might be unregularly uploading cross channel stuff, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are watching, and I'll see you guys on the next upload or the live streams of whatever I'm playing at that time. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Ciao.